Hello everyone, I'm Hillary with Dominion Tea, and today we're talking Gyokuro. So what is Gyokuro? It is a Japanese green tea. Its name actually translates into precious dew. And what is amazing about this tea is that because of its manufacturing, and actually a period of 3 to 4 weeks before it's even plucked, it ends up with a fabulous light flavor. So let's talk about what's going on here. Gyokuro comes out of Japan. In the 1800s, we had a tea farmer there who decided to put hay on top of his tea plants because of a late spring frost, which is always possible in Japan. Spring doesn't really show up for a good chunk of the country because it is so far north until late April, early May. So it's absolutely possible to still get frost, which will, when you've got new tea leaves and tea buds on the plant, it's going to cause brown spotting. So it's not going to look good. It's going to, in some cases, it may even completely damage it, so they're not even harvestable. So you do want to preserve it. So this farmer puts his hay down, leaves it there, and then clears it when he goes to harvest. And what he discovered is that shade from the hay took the seaweed flavor that is typical of Sencha out of the tea and allowed the tea to come up with a sweeter, kind of more floral note to it. Scientists can tell you what happened. Basically, the shade caused the plant to produce more L-theanine and a couple other polyphenols that have a tendency to be sweeter on the finish than others. And what that does is it turns this absolutely gorgeous tea into just its own world. Now, Gyokuro is manufactured a lot by Sencha. Typically they do hand pluck this because it's the first harvest of the year, and sometimes they're making matcha out of the bud and they're going to want to grind that. Sometimes though it's still mechanical, give or take where you are in the country. And what they're going to do nowadays is they're not putting hay down on the tea leaves, they're using shade cloth. And it's great because with the shade cloth, they can control the sunlight even more. And so you can get different versions of Gyokuro. They're also playing with Gyokuro in cultivars. So Japan, for a number of years, has grown multiple cultivars in the same tea fields. And that was a byproduct of the absolute decimation of the tea industry in the late 70s, early 80s, when they were doing single cultivar fields, and they got hit with a couple of different insect invasions that just wiped out the industry for several years at the end of the 70s. So they started to intermingle cultivars to prevent that. It also helped them kind of change harvesting times. But they're returning back to smaller single cultivar fields, and they're doing this with Gyokuro as well. So the cultivars they use for Gyokuro typically have got a sweeter finish by themselves when they're used to produce matcha and sencha. But this time you're going to get an even more interesting flavor. So it is a lot of fun. This is a great green tea to go after, even if you're kind of a little leery of green teas, because it is lighter in flavor and a light finish. It's not going to stick in your mouth. And it definitely does not carry kind of that seaweed aquatic flavor that you would get out of sencha and matcha from Japan. So this is a good enough tea where I tell you, you pull out the kyusu if you're a serious Japanese green tea drinker. You're going to, as a quick reminder, make sure you know how much water is in here, double your tea to the water, shorten your steep time to 15 to 20 second increments, and enjoy multiple steeps of this tea because it is absolutely wonderful. And for all of you who are brand new to this, you can drink it just like any other tea. You're going to put in a teaspoon to roughly 8 ounces of water, but you're going to brew it down near 175 degrees. Now, guess what? With Gyokuro, you can go even cooler, down to 160. I happen to like it at the 175 mark, but that's personal preference on my part. But cool temperature, 3 minutes in your cup. And again, you're going to get multiple steeps as well. So you want at least 2, if not 3, before you get rid of your leaves. And so this is a great tea to add to your list of teas that you need to drink as a tea connoisseur. And it gives you an excuse to keep exploring tea. If you enjoyed learning more about tea with us, hit the subscribe button so that you can be notified when we add more videos to our channel. And check out the highlighted videos to learn even more about tea. And last but not least, you can check out all of the teas we talk about in our videos at dominiontea.com.